The world doesn't owe you anything. That's the first thing you need to accept. This is where the lies end and the truth begins. You think that just because you're alive, because you show up, that something will come to you. Newsflash, the world doesn't give a damn about your feelings, your dreams, or your potential. All that matters is the work. You want success, you want freedom, you want to change your life, then you better be prepared to take control, because no one is going to hand it to you. You can sit there and blame your situation, your upbringing, the economy, or any other excuse, but that's all they are, excuses. The hard truth is that the world doesn't care about your excuses. The only thing the world respects is action, and action means results. If you're not willing to step up and put in the work, then you might as well quit right now. No one will come to save you. No one's waiting to hand you a life of luxury just because you feel like you deserve it. If you want to succeed, you have to understand that it won't be easy. Success is not a fairy tale, and it's not something that's just going to fall into your lap. If you believe that you can simply show up and be handed a life of wealth and success, then you've already lost. You've been lied to. People tell you that success is about who you know, that it's about being in the right place at the right time. That's part of the equation, but not the whole equation. The truth is, those who are willing to do what others won't, those who are willing to work harder, smarter, and with more intensity will be the ones who rise to the top. But here's the kicker, even that isn't guaranteed. Even with all the work in the world, even with the best strategies and the best opportunities, you can still fail. But failure is not the end. It's part of the process. And that's another hard truth you need to accept. Failure is inevitable. Everyone who's ever achieved anything substantial has failed more times than they've succeeded. But what separates the winners from the losers is their response to failure. The winners understand that failure is a stepping stone, not a wall. The losers use failure as an excuse to quit. The idea that you can coast through life without facing rejection, struggle, or setbacks is a fantasy. Life will knock you down again and again, and if you're not ready to take those hits, you'll never make it. People tell you to follow your passion, to chase your dreams, but passion isn't enough. Passion alone won't pay the bills. Passion won't get you through the sleepless nights, the uncertainty, the grind. Passion can be fleeting, but your work ethic, your commitment to your goals, that's what will push you through. Your passion doesn't matter unless it's backed by action. Passion without effort is useless. So, stop thinking that just because you have a dream, that dream is automatically going to come true. You need to have a plan, a strategy, and most importantly, the willingness to execute that plan no matter what obstacles stand in your way. Another hard truth is that the path to success is not a straight line. You will face challenges that you never expected. Life will throw obstacles in your way that you cannot prepare for, but that's not the issue. The issue is how you respond to those obstacles. If you give up when things get hard, if you throw in the towel the first time you face adversity, then you're done. Your success is not defined by how hard you start. It's defined by how hard you fight when things get tough. The most successful people in the world have been through hell, but they didn't quit. They didn't run away from the battle. They doubled down, and that's what you have to do. You have to get comfortable with the idea of struggle. You have to welcome it, because struggle is where growth happens. Struggle is where strength is built. If you're not willing to struggle, then you're not willing to win. The truth is, success demands sacrifice. It demands that you give up the comfort of the ordinary in exchange for the extraordinary. It demands that you put in the work when no one is watching. It demands that you do the things that no one else is willing to do. Too many people think success is about luck. They think that it's about being in the right place at the right time, but that's just another excuse. Luck is the result of preparation meeting opportunity. The more you prepare, the luckier you'll get. You think the people who are at the top are there because of luck. No, they're there because they did what others weren't willing to do. They worked harder, longer, and smarter. They outlasted everyone who gave up. And while you're sitting there making excuses about why you can't, they're out there making moves. They're out there hustling, grinding, and building their legacy. And when you finally decide that you've had enough of your excuses, when you finally decide that you're going to take full responsibility for your life, that's when things will start to change. But don't get it twisted. Taking responsibility doesn't mean sitting around and waiting for things to change. It means going out there and making things happen. You have to act. You have to take the bull by the horns and make your future your own. You want success, then make it happen. Success isn't handed to anyone, it's earned, and that's the hard truth. If you're not ready to earn it, then you'll never get it. You can't expect to sit on your couch, watch TV, scroll through social media, and expect the life you want to fall into your lap. You need to get up, you need to grind, you need to hustle, and when you feel like quitting, that's when you push harder. When it feels impossible, that's when you find a way. When you feel exhausted, that's when you dig deeper. It's easy to talk about success. It's easy to fantasize about the life you want. But the hard truth is that talking is not enough. You have to take action. You have to show up every day and do the work. Stop blaming the world for your failures. Stop blaming other people for your lack of progress. The only person holding you back is you. The sooner you realize this, the sooner you'll start making real progress. Success is not a gift. It's not something that's given to you. It's something you take. You want it, go get it. It's waiting for you, but only if you're willing to do whatever it takes to make it yours. The hard truth is that the world doesn't care about your excuses, your problems, or your feelings. It only cares about results. So go out there and get results. No one else will do it for you. The reality of success is harsh. It's not some dreamy, easily attainable goal, and it's definitely not something that comes handed to you on a silver platter. Success doesn't care about your personal circumstances, your background, or your struggles. It doesn't care about your education level, your age, or where you come from. If you want to succeed, you have to do what others won't, and you have to do it for as long as it takes. You can't take shortcuts, and you can't expect to get ahead without putting in the hard work. That's the second truth. There is no shortcut to success. If you want to get anywhere, you have to work for it, and you have to be prepared to fail over and over again. Failure is part of the process. If you aren't failing, then you aren't pushing yourself hard enough. If you want to get to the top, you need to be willing to face rejection, to deal with setbacks, to handle criticism, and to accept that it's going to be uncomfortable. Comfort is your enemy. Success demands discomfort. We live in a world where everyone is looking for instant gratification, and that's where most people go wrong. They expect success to come easily, to show up overnight. You hear stories of people going viral, of people making millions from a single video, or one business idea turning them into overnight millionaires. But what you don't hear about is all the time, energy, and sacrifice that went into building those successes. People don't talk about the 10 years of grinding, the late nights, the sacrifices, the failures, the moments of doubt. What people see is the success, but they don't see the struggle that came before it. So when you go out there thinking you can make it big with minimal effort, you're setting yourself up for failure. People who achieve anything meaningful have earned it. They've earned it through relentless hard work, by doing what others aren't willing to do, by being consistent when everyone else gives up. The sad truth is that most people are not willing to put in the work. They want the result, but they don't want the process. They want the rewards, but they don't want to make the sacrifice, and that's why they'll never make it. If you're not willing to sacrifice your time, your energy, and your comfort, you'll never reach the level of success you're dreaming about. Success is not just about working hard, it's about working smart. You need to be strategic with your time, and you need to learn how to maximize the impact of every hour you put in. But even with all the strategy, all the knowledge, all the work, it still takes time. The world is not in a hurry, but you should be. You can't waste time. Every second you spend waiting for things to happen is a second wasted. The sooner you realize that time is your most precious asset, the sooner you'll start making the most of it. Another thing that people often fail to grasp is the idea of persistence. Persistence is everything. You will face countless rejections, and you will be told no more times than you can count. You will hit dead ends, face criticism, and get knocked down, but persistence is what separates the winners from the losers. The winners understand that it's not about getting things right on the first try. It's not about winning every time. It's about staying in the game long enough to get the victories that matter. Most people quit before they even have the chance to succeed. They get discouraged after their first failure, after their third attempt, and they give up. But the truth is, success often comes to those who simply refuse to quit. The people who are willing to keep pushing, even when things seem hopeless, are the ones who eventually make it. If you quit after your first failure, you'll never know how close you were to success. Persistence is about getting up every time you're knocked down, about continuing to take action even when the road is tough. When you stop making excuses and start taking responsibility for your life, that's when things will start to change. Stop blaming the system, stop blaming other people, and stop blaming your circumstances. Everything is on you. If you want something in life, you have to go out and get it. No one else is going to do it for you. There's no one coming to save you, and there's no one who cares about your dreams as much as you do. If you want to make a name for yourself, if you want to make an impact, you need to go out and take it. The world isn't waiting for you, and no one is going to hand you success. It's up to you to make things happen. You need to stop looking for shortcuts, stop seeking validation from others, and stop waiting for the perfect moment. There is no perfect moment, there is only now. Once you accept that the responsibility is on you, the next step is to take consistent, deliberate action. Action is what changes your life. No matter how many books you read, how many podcasts you listen to, or how many seminars you attend, nothing will change until you take action. You can't sit there and talk about your dreams and expect them to come true. You have to get out and make things happen. Every day, you need to be doing something that gets you closer to your goal. Even if it's a small step, it's still progress. But if you're not taking action every single day, you're wasting time. Success doesn't happen overnight, but it happens one day at a time. The more action you take, the closer you get to your goals. And when things start getting difficult, when the doubts creep in, when the setbacks pile up, that's when you need to dig deep. That's when you need to remind yourself why you're doing this. You have to push through the hard times because the hard times are what shape you. Success doesn't care about your comfort, your feelings, or your doubts. It doesn't care if you're tired, frustrated, or scared. Success only cares about the results you can deliver. If you're willing to endure the pain, the struggle, and the sacrifice, then you will eventually reach your destination. But you have to keep moving forward. You can't stop when things get hard. You can't quit when things aren't going your way. You have to push through and keep moving forward no matter what. Success doesn't come easy, but that's the beauty of it. The harder you fight for it, the sweeter the victory. The more obstacles you overcome, the more satisfying the reward will be. The truth is, you're capable of far more than you think, but only if you stop making excuses and start putting in the work. Stop waiting for the perfect moment. Stop waiting for the stars to align. The time to act is now. The sooner you stop wasting time and start taking responsibility for your life, the sooner you'll begin to see results. And the harder you push, the further you'll go. The world is full of people who are waiting for success to come to them. But success isn't a gift, it's something you earn. You can either sit around and complain about how unfair life is, or you can take control of your life and create the future you want. The choice is yours. The third truth is the one that most people refuse to accept, that the world doesn't owe you anything. We've all been raised to believe in this notion that things will work out if we work hard enough, that the system will eventually recognize our value, and that our efforts will be rewarded in due time. But here's the hard truth. The world doesn't care. Nobody cares about your struggles, your dreams, or your journey. You can complain all you want about how difficult life is or how unfair the world is, but it won't change a thing. The world is indifferent. It doesn't care if you're rich or poor, young or old, successful or struggling. The world will continue to move forward with or without you, and the sooner you realize that, the sooner you can start taking control of your own life. This harsh truth is what separates the successful from the unsuccessful. The people who succeed understand that nothing is given to them. They understand that they're not entitled to success, and they're willing to put in the work to earn it. They don't sit around waiting for opportunities to fall into their laps. They create their own opportunities. They don't wait for someone to give them a break. They go out and take it. If you want something, you have to go out and get it. The world doesn't owe you a thing, and the sooner you accept that, the sooner you'll stop wasting your time waiting for things to happen. You'll start focusing on what you can control, and you'll start taking action toward creating the life you want. The world rewards action, not intention. You can think about success all day long, but nothing will happen unless you take action. Success isn't about having a good idea or a great plan. It's about executing on that idea, day in and day out, and being relentless in the pursuit of your goals. Nobody cares if you have a dream. Everyone has dreams. What people care about is whether or not you're willing to put in the work to make those dreams a reality. Nobody cares if you're passionate or motivated or enthusiastic. They only care about results, and results don't come from sitting around waiting for something to happen. They come from taking action, from grinding day after day, from pushing yourself even when you don't feel like it. It's easy to get caught up in the trap of waiting for the perfect moment. We all tell ourselves that we'll start when we have more money, when we have more time, when we're more prepared. But that's the trap. The perfect moment never comes. It's always just out of reach, always one more obstacle standing in your way. If you keep waiting for everything to align perfectly, you'll never get started. Success isn't about waiting for the stars to align. It's about moving forward regardless of the obstacles, regardless of the imperfections. It's about taking the first step, even when you don't have all the answers. You don't need everything to be perfect. You just need to start, and as you go, you'll learn, you'll adapt, and you'll improve. You also need to understand that the road to success is going to be filled with setbacks, challenges, and failures. If you're not prepared for that, you're in for a rude awakening. Nobody gets to the top without facing rejection, without dealing with disappointments, without falling flat on their face a few times. The question is not whether or not you'll face obstacles. The question is whether or not you're willing to keep going in the face of those obstacles. Most people will quit when things get tough. Most people will give up when they encounter their first failure. But the people who succeed are the ones who refuse to quit. They get knocked down, but they get back up. They face challenges head on and keep pushing forward, no matter how difficult the road becomes. And here's another harsh truth: success takes time. This is one of the hardest truths to accept, especially in a world that rewards instant gratification. We're used to getting things quickly, whether it's fast food, instant messaging, or social media likes. But success doesn't work that way. You can't rush it. You can't force it. It's a long, slow process that requires patience, persistence, and consistency. You can't expect to achieve greatness overnight. Success takes years of hard work, of building momentum, of learning from your mistakes and continuously improving. If you're not willing to put in the time, you might as well quit now, because it's not going to happen for you. In fact, the hardest part of the journey to success is often the beginning. When you're starting out, it can feel like you're putting in all this effort and getting nothing in return. You may not see the results right away, and that can be frustrating. But this is where most people give up. This is where they stop putting in the work because they think it's not worth it. They think they're not getting anywhere, but they don't realize that they're building the foundation for something great. Success isn't about immediate gratification. It's about delayed gratification. It's about investing in yourself and in your future even when you can't see the rewards yet. It's about knowing that the work you put in today will pay off tomorrow even if you can't see how yet. That's why most people never make it. They're not willing to stick it out long enough to see the rewards. They don't understand the value of consistency, of doing the right things day after day, even when it feels like nothing is changing. But here's the thing, you don't need to see the results right away. You just need to keep moving forward. Success is a marathon, not a sprint. The key is to stay consistent, stay focused, and keep pushing forward, no matter how long it takes. The people who make it are the ones who keep going when everyone else quits. They keep showing up day in and day out, and eventually the results start to come. You also need to accept that you're going to have to make sacrifices. If you want to succeed, you're going to have to give up certain things. You're going to have to give up your time, your comfort, your freedom, and sometimes even your relationships. Success requires sacrifice. It requires putting in the hours when everyone else is out partying, working when others are resting, and sacrificing short-term pleasures for long-term gain. The reality is that if you want to achieve something great, you're going to have to sacrifice something else in return. And that's something most people aren't willing to do. They want to have it all, the success, the money, the lifestyle, but they don't want to make the sacrifices necessary to get there. But the truth is, without sacrifice, there's no success. If you can't embrace the fact that the world doesn't owe you anything, that success takes time and that you have to sacrifice, then you're never going to make it. It's that simple. The world isn't here to hand you success. You have to earn it, and that's going to require everything you've got. You can't be half-hearted about it. You can't give up when it gets hard. You have to be willing to sacrifice, to grind, to fail, and to get back up again every single time. If you do that, success will eventually come, but don't expect it to be easy. Don't expect it to be quick, and don't expect anyone to give it to you. It's yours to take, but only if you're willing to fight for it. The final truth, one that is incredibly difficult to accept, is that most people are not capable of handling success. You may think that success is all about getting rich, famous, or achieving your goals, but the reality is that success demands a level of discipline, responsibility, and resilience that the majority of people are simply not prepared for. The moment you achieve a degree of success, everything changes. The people around you change, your responsibilities increase, and you are expected to perform at a higher level. This is where most people fail because they don't have the mental toughness or the emotional stability to handle the pressure that comes with success. Success isn't just about the rewards or the perks that come with it. It's also about the burdens and the weight of expectation that get placed on your shoulders once you reach the top. When you have money, when you have influence, when you have power, you're suddenly responsible for more than just yourself. You're responsible for others. Whether it's your family, your employees, your friends, or your fans, the expectations are high and they never stop coming. People start looking to you for guidance, and that can be a heavy burden to carry. Success isn't just about being on top of the world. It's about managing all of the stress, the demands, and the pressure that come with it. Most people fail at this point, not because they weren't capable of achieving success, but because they weren't mentally prepared for it. They think that success will make everything easier, that it will free them from their problems and struggles. But the reality is that success introduces a whole new set of challenges. Your problems won't go away when you succeed. In fact, they will multiply. Success doesn't make life easier. It makes life harder, and you need to be ready for that. This is why so many people who achieve success, whether it's in business, sports, or entertainment, end up losing it all. They aren't mentally prepared for the demands of success, and they crumble under the pressure. To succeed at the highest level, you need to be able to handle stress and pressure without cracking. You need to learn how to manage the weight of responsibility, the expectations of others, and the never-ending demands of your time. You need to develop mental fortitude, the ability to stay calm and focused even when everything around you is chaotic. Success brings pressure, and if you can't handle it, it will break you. You need to be prepared for that and be ready to embrace the grind, the sacrifice, and the emotional strain that comes with it. At the same time, there's another side to success that people rarely talk about, the isolation that comes with it. As you climb the ladder of success, you'll begin to notice that fewer and fewer people truly understand your journey. The people who were once by your side may start to drift away, not because they don't care about you, but because they can't relate to your experience anymore. You'll find that many of your relationships will start to change, and in some cases, they may even break down entirely. Success can be a lonely road. People who haven't experienced the same level of success will not understand the pressures, the challenges, and the sacrifices you've made to get where you are. They won't understand why you're so driven, why you're willing to work so hard, and why you're always pushing yourself further. And this can create distance between you and those who were once close to you. You'll also realize that the higher you go, the fewer people you can trust. Success attracts attention, and not all of it is positive. You'll find that people will try to take advantage of you, use you, or manipulate you for their own gain. The higher you rise, the more people will try to tear you down, and it can be incredibly difficult to find people who have your best interests at heart. Trust becomes a rare commodity, and you have to be careful about who you allow into your inner circle. Not everyone who smiles at you is your friend, and not everyone who says they have your back is truly on your side. Success will make you question who your real friends are, and that can be one of the most painful aspects of achieving greatness. But the truth is that success is also about learning how to manage all of these challenges, how to stay focused, how to stay grounded, and how to keep your priorities straight. You need to be able to maintain your humility and your sense of self, even when the world is telling you that you've made it. You need to stay true to your values, your beliefs, and your goals, even when the pressure to conform to the expectations of others is overwhelming. The moment you lose sight of your purpose, the moment you start prioritizing the opinions of others over your own vision, that's when success begins to slip away. Success is also about learning how to deal with failure. This is one of the hardest truths to accept. You will fail. No matter how successful you become, there will be times when you fall short, when things don't go according to plan, and when you fail to meet your own expectations. Failure is an inevitable part of success. What separates those who ultimately succeed from those who don't is how they respond to failure. Successful people don't quit when they fail. They use failure as a learning experience, a stepping stone toward greater success. They understand that failure is not permanent. It's just a temporary setback that can be overcome with the right mindset and the right approach. But for most people, failure is the end. They give up, they stop trying, and they let failure define them. The truth is, failure is not the end. It's just the beginning of a new chapter. Every failure brings with it an opportunity to learn, to grow, and to improve. The most successful people in the world have failed countless times, but they didn't let those failures stop them. They used each failure to fuel their success, and they kept going. If you want to succeed, you have to embrace failure, learn from it, and keep pushing forward. In the end, the hard truth is that success is not easy. It's not about getting rich or famous or achieving your dreams without effort. Success is about sacrifice, resilience, and the ability to handle pressure. It's about staying true to yourself and your values even when the world is telling you to compromise. Success is about grinding every single day, pushing through failure, and never giving up. If you're not ready for this, then you're not ready for success. Success will break you if you let it. But if you can withstand the pressure, if you can keep your focus, and if you can keep moving forward no matter what, then success will come. But it's not going to be easy. The truth is, most people won't make it. But those who do are the ones who have the mental strength to keep going, no matter how tough it gets. The hard truth is this: success is not for the weak, the lazy, or the ones who are not prepared for the struggles that come with it. It's for those who are willing to face discomfort, to endure the challenges, and to carry the weight of responsibility that comes with achieving greatness. The moment you step onto the path of success, everything changes. The pressure intensifies, your relationships may shift, and the stakes get higher. But if you're truly ready to rise, you must embrace every obstacle as part of the journey and never back down when things get tough. Success isn't a prize handed to you on a silver platter. It's earned through hard work, resilience, and the ability to stand strong when the world tries to break you. The pressure will test you, the failures will challenge you, and the sacrifices will be real. But the question you need to ask yourself is, are you willing to push through all of it? Are you willing to handle the weight, to make the sacrifices, and to show up every single day, no matter how difficult it gets? If your answer is yes, then you are ready for success. But know this: success is not for the faint-hearted. It's a relentless pursuit that demands everything from you. The only way you can truly succeed is by embracing the hard truths and preparing your mind and body for the relentless grind. So, step up, face the truth, and prepare yourself for greatness. Because the hard truth is, success belongs to those who dare to fight for it, even when it seems impossible. Now, go and make it happen.